Welcome to Cloud Infrastructure Services YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to show you how you can set up a Kanban project management server on Ubuntu running on Azure. So simply click the link in the description box to come to this marketplace listing for Azure, and from here you want to create a new virtual machine with this particular image. Now this image comes with pre-installed Kanban, Apache and PHP, which are the prerequisites for Kanban project management. So from this page, simply click on Get It Now. After that, click on Continue. After that, you would be brought to this product page from where you need to click on Create. And then you would be forwarded to this page from where you can customize your virtual machine. So choose a subscription that you have and choose a resource group by either creating a new one or by choosing an already existing one, and then give your virtual machine a name. So I'm going to call mine as Kanban. After that, scroll down and choose the zone or region where you want to deploy your virtual machine. Scroll down even more, choose the image that is the one that you got from the link in the description box, and the size according to your requirements. For the authentication type, I am going to go with the SSH public key authentication. After that, simply choose or give yourself a username, so I'm going to call mine as CIS. After that, when you're satisfied with the settings, simply click on Review plus Create. And then you would have to wait for the validation process to complete. Once the validation process is done, simply click on Create over here. This time around, you would be prompted to download the private key and create resource. So click on it and download the private key in a secure folder, because this is the private key that you would be using to connect to the SSH terminal of our virtual machine. And then you would have to wait for the deployment process to complete. Now once the installation process is done, the next step is to connect to the SSH terminal of our virtual machine. Now to do that, simply click on Go to Resource, and then from this overview page, simply click on Connect and choose SSH. After that, simply copy this command and paste it inside either a command prompt or a PowerShell. And then simply replace this path for the path where you have downloaded your private key. After replacing this path, simply hit enter, and when you are prompted, type in yes and then hit enter once more. And then this command prompt is going to become an SSH terminal of our virtual machine. Now in this SSH terminal, the very first thing that we want to do is that we want to configure our database for Kanban. And for that we need to open up MySQL shell, so type in the command sudo mysql. And then you want to create a new database and a new user. Now to follow along with this tutorial, simply click the link in the description box to come to this step-by-step blog post guide on how to set up Kanban project management software. And from here you will get all the commands that I'm going to use. So copy these commands, and as you can see that we are creating a database named as Kanban and a new user named as Kanban as well, and for that user we have the password as password. Now if you want to give something else, maybe like a different name for a database or different username or a different password, then make sure to simply modify these commands, and when you're done, paste them in the SSH terminal and then hit enter. Now after creating this user, we want to grant all of the privileges to this user as well, and then we want to apply those privileges using the flush privileges command. So copy these commands and paste them in the SSH terminal and then hit enter. With that, you're basically done setting up your database for Kanban. Now what you want to do is that you want to exit from this MariaDB by typing the command exit and then a semicolon and then hit enter. Now the next step is to actually set up php.ini file. Now to do that, simply head back to the blog post and copy this command to open up the php.ini file, and then hit enter. And in this file you want to search for certain tags, and then you want to make sure that they have certain values. So let me bring my terminal to this side. Now as you can see that we want to search for all of these tags having these values. Now a quick way to search a tag is simply pressing Ctrl W. That is going to bring up this search bar, and in this search bar we can type in our tag like file_uploads and then hit enter. Now as you can see that the value is on. So similarly, simply check for all of these tags with these particular values. So I'm going to speed it up for you so it doesn't waste your time. Now once you're done with this, you want to hit Ctrl O to save this file and Ctrl X to exit from this file. After that, you want to restart the service of Apache, so type in the command sudo systemctl restart apache 2 and then hit enter. And now we can move on to the next step. Now the next step is to actually set up a config.php file for installation of Kanban. So for that we need to head inside the directory of Kanban, so type in the command cd /var/www/html and then hit enter. And in this directory you're going to run the command ls and then hit enter once more. So as you can see that our canboard directory is canboard-1.2.20. So cd into that directory, so canboard-1.2.20, and in this directory we have a config.default.php file, and we don't want to mess it up. So that is why we are going to create a copy of that file and name it as config.php. So for that, simply copy this command and paste it inside the SSH terminal and then hit enter. After that, we want to open that config file. So type in the command sudo nano config.php and then hit enter. Now in this file, we want to make sure that our connection with our database is set up. So for that, simply try to find a key value pair, which is the DB driver. Now you can see that the value is set to SQLite. We want to change it to MySQL. After that, you would simply type in the name of the user that you created. In my case, it was canboard. And then you also want to provide the password for that user over here, which in my case was simply password. And then the DB hostname is going to be localhost, and the DB name is going to be the one that you gave when creating that database, which in my case is canboard. Once you are done, simply hit Ctrl O and then enter to save this file and Ctrl X to exit from this file. After that, we want to update the permissions of this canboard directory. For that, head back to the blog post, copy this command and paste it inside our SSH terminal and then hit enter. Now we can move on to the next step, which is to configure Apache for canboard. And to configure Apache, we would have to create a new configuration file named as canboard.conf. For that, simply copy this command and paste it inside the SSH terminal and then hit enter. Now this is not only going to create that file, but it is also going to open that file up. Now in this file, we are simply going to copy and paste these commands, and then we want to replace the value for server name tag. Now if you have a domain running, then you want to paste in the URL of your domain over here. But if you don't have a domain, then you want to paste in the IP address of your virtual machine. Now to get the IP address, simply head back to portal.azure and then click on overview. And then simply copy this public IP address from over here. Now paste that address right in front of server name, then Ctrl O and enter to save the file and Ctrl X to exit from the file. Now we have created a new virtual host for Apache, but we still need to enable that host. Now to enable the host, simply type in the command sudo a2nsite and then canboard.conf and then hit enter. And then you also want to run sudo a2nmod rewrite and then hit enter. Now you can see that it is prompting us that to activate the new configuration, we need to run sudo systemctl restart Apache 2. So type that in and hit enter. Now basically you are done setting up your canboard. Now to actually access the canboard web's portal, head back to portal.azure and copy this public IP address once more and paste it inside a new tab and then hit enter. Now that is going to open up this login page for canboard. So the username is admin and the password is admin as well. So type that in and click on sign in. Now this is going to allow you to log into dashboard for admin. And now in here you can even create a new project or manage your previous project. Now to create a new project, simply click on this button that says new project. And then you need to fill in the details for your new project, such as name. So I'm going to call mine as test project. And then you can provide an identifier, but that is not mandatory. So I'm going to leave that blank and I'm going to set the task limit as 20. Type that in and simply hit save. And then that project would not only be created, but it is also going to show you a summary of that project. Anyways, that brings us to the end of today's video. Now if you have any queries regarding this tutorial, make sure to leave that query in the comment section down below and we will get to you as soon as possible. And make sure to check out the link in the description box for the marketplace listing for Azure and also for the step-by-step blog post guide on how to set up canboard project on Azure. And finally, if this video has helped you in any way, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel.